I hope you're doing well before you watch this video, because this video will irritate you to no end, honestly. I saw this article and I was like, I can't believe he's lying so brazenly and yet he's still not being held accountable. If you're wondering who I'm talking about, it's Matt Hancock. So in this segment, we're talking about Matt Hancock claiming to have thrown a protective ring around care homes, despite saying it live on TV. My man told us live on TV that the government threw a protective ring around care homes, which we know is a lie, but now he's denied saying it. And he's very stupid because he's going to go in front of a committee of MPs very soon. I don't know when I'm going to put this video out and when he's actually going to sit. I think it's very soon. But he's told this lie blatantly, and I hope they pull him up on it, because if they don't, that select committee is not fit for purpose, because I'm doing the job of MPs who have multiple staff then, if they can't do this. And the fact that Andrew Marr doesn't actually pull Matt Hancock up on this is very frustrating. Andrew Marr, another person who just toes the government line, doesn't care, a guy who I had a lot of respect for at one point. Anyways, let's go into the video.
There is a debate about that. Can I ask you one very last question?
Staff that really...
That phrase, protective ring, do you at least regret that?
Well,
it wasn't true, was it?
I said that much later about what we were doing for the winter plan, and it's been interpreted.
So right from the start, we've tried to throw a protective ring around our care homes. We set out our first advice in February, and as the virus grew, we strengthened it throughout. We've made sure that care homes have the resources they need to control the spread of infection. Social care is a devolved matter, of course.
It's full of lies here. He didn't put a protective ring around care homes. He didn't have the testing in place. They sent people that had COVID into care homes. So this man massively lying here. You know, Matt Hancock has denied claiming to have thrown a protective ring around care homes from the start of the pandemic, despite saying it live on TV. The now notorious statement, which ignored the discharge of patients from hospital without COVID tests, came much later. What we were doing for the winter plan, he said. So he said, look, you know, we threw the protective ring around care homes in the winter. You didn't though, did you? Because we still had massive deaths. And I think even care home deaths, even in the winter, were quite bad. So well done once again, Matt Hancock, constantly lying people directly. But TV footage shows Mr. Hancock made the claim in May 2020 at Downing Street press conference that he was arguing he had protected care homes throughout. We know that's a lie. We had I think it was about 30,000 care home deaths because they sent COVID positive patients back into care homes. Care homes didn't have the PPE that they needed, to the point where there was a kid in Northampton, I can't remember his name, I apologise for that, Cameron something, I think his name was, made face shields using a 3D printer that was crowdfunded to get face shields to the care home his grandma was living in. Like, that's shocking that a child had to do that because the government didn't have the PPE required to help care homes. My man's talking about protective ring. You threw a death circle around these care homes, you massive fraud. Right from the start, we've tried to throw a protective ring around our care homes. The watching public was told. We set out our first advice in February, and then as the virus grew, we strengthened it throughout. What strengthened the virus? That's all you did. On the BBC's Andrew Marr show, Mr. Hancock was asked the phrase protective ring, do you at least regret it? He said, I said that much later about what we were doing about the winter plan, and it's been interpreted. We've just shown you the clip. He's blatantly lying here that he said that for the start of the pandemic, that they threw a protective ring around care homes. You know, not for winter, during the start, which was about March. Labour Shadow Health Secretary John Ashworth said a clumsy, blatant attempt to rewrite history, and Layla Moran, chair of the All-Parliamentary Group on Coronavirus, said Matt Hancock claimed that from the start the government had tried to throw a protective ring around care homes, yet the evidence shows this is far from the case. So when these select committees talk to Matt Hancock, I hope they use this interview as a reference point, because when the inquiry comes, Matt Hancock will be on the chopping block. He's going to be in a lot of trouble. Mr. Hancock, who faces MPs this week about the explosive allegations of his multiple lying made by Dominic Cummings, did issue his first firm denial about the most serious claim. Johnson's ousted former advisor told the inquiry that the Prime Minister was promised there would be testing before discharges, and it was around this time, I think, that Cummings and Boris Johnson actually caught COVID. So according to Dominic Cummings, that Boris Johnson was promised by Matt Hancock that anyone being discharged into a care home would be tested. We know that was a lie. We know this to be true. That Matt Hancock lied. Mr. Hancock claimed Mr. Johnson said in less polite terms, Hancock told us in the cabinet room that there was going to be people were going to be tested before they went back into care homes. What the hell happened? But asked by Ma, did you tell Boris Johnson in March that people sent from care homes into that people sent from hospitals into care homes were being tested when you knew they weren't? Matt Hancock said, no, I didn't. So Matt Hancock saying he did not tell Boris Johnson that people were being tested before they were discharged. So someone is lying here. Either Dominic Cummings is lying or Matt Hancock is lying. And I don't know which one. It's very hard to tell. But apparently, according to Dominic Cummings, Matt Hancock had told Boris Johnson and Dominic Cummings that people being discharged from hospital into care homes were being tested. Matt Hancock said he did not say that. So he could mean that, like, I did not say those exact words, but the interpretation would be he did not say that, phrase, or he did not give that kind of assurance. Last month, Mr. Cummings told the MPs all the government rhetoric, we put a shield around care homes and blah, 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 was complete nonsense. And we all know this to be true. All he's done here is confirm what we knew. He added, Mr. Ashworth added, we were promised a protective ring around care homes, but the tragic reality is the health secretary failed to provide care home workers with PPE, adequate sick pay entitlement, and, as he admitted today, chose not to test those discharged from hospitals into social care. Families who lost loved ones deserve a full explanation as to why homes were left exposed, and that's true. Families fully deserve reasoning why. Matt Hancock, when he goes in front of that select committee, I hope they absolutely put him on toast, absolutely ice this guy after what he's done, during this year. Not just the contracts, but the way they've treated elderly people. This is their own voter base, by the way. These are the people that predominantly vote for them. They left them to die from COVID. They abandoned these people when they needed them the most. That's who this government are. And if you've got a family member who died of COVID, if you've got a family member who died in one of these care homes and you vote Tory, yeah, I would seriously think about your voting habits from now on. And if you continue to vote for the Conservative Party, you're a scumbag. Absolute scumbag. You are almost as bad as this clown here. Anyways, I'm going to leave it there. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.